Hit that shit.
You're about to listen to the String Ninjas Podcast, String Ninjas Podcast, String Ninjas Podcast, String Ninjas Podcast, String Ninjas Podcast. Music. Soft porn stuff. 5, 4, 3, 2, String Ninjas Podcast, String Ninjas Podcast, String Ninjas Podcast.
Alright folks, how's it going? Welcome to the second edition of the episode number 4 of the String Ninjas Podcast. This is our second time recording this because
You're shite.
yeah, it's shite. It was just shite. It was just pure shite. Some say it was me, some say it was Mick, but it was shite regardless. What do you love what?
I just realised what's on that cup.
I love you, Yeah. Heard it here first, String Ninjas exclusive. So if you are checking us out on all the usual spots, apologies for being late. But this, regardless, I don't care if a load of cows come in here and just shit all over the place.
Yeah.
Regardless, this is going out the way it is. So thanks very much. Catch us on Patreon, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if you're still into arguing about things. Grindr, all the usual things, we're there. And thanks very much. So I need to bring up something that Mick said, because obviously we can't do this shot for shot for what we did last week.
No.
Is that would be fucking impossible.
No.
So one of the things that I did want to talk about is something that Mick brought up, and it just has to be mentioned again. Cats and people sucking on their paws.
Oh yeah.
So to tell everybody, tell everybody what the crack is.
Oh yeah, okay.
I have thought about this way too much over the last couple of days.
Well, all right. So basically, a friend of mine has been running a weekly quiz. Did it during the first lockdown, and then even when things are easy, he kept going, and it's still going. But there's this one team who shall remain nameless. Who there was a thing that happened one night on the quiz, and you can see everybody's screen. And I just started sucking on his cat's paws. But it was one of those.
You saying that.
It was like I was like whenever I was driving up the ramp to get into the ferry,
smell my
and I was
clutch.
like, smell my clutch. It was weird when it happened. We were all our friends. We were all texting each other, going, "Is that actually happening?" So yeah, it did legit happen. There's a video somewhere.
Did he grab the cat and just?
Well,
or did the cat's paws appear from
underneath?
No.
The cat appears in his video. He's got a cat. Like people have cats as pets. So the cat was in shot, and just sort of playfully, mucking around as people are allowed to do with their pets. But then started sucking on his paws.
Here, come here, cat.
And I'm drinking out of a cup that says "Nobody loves I love anal," and that's not even the worst thing you're going to hear on this podcast. You know what I mean? By the way, shout out to the Bark and Dog for hosting us, because they're not open at the moment, so we're using this place as a studio, and this is one of the staff cups. So I'm now thinking about the staff who work here, going, I wonder who owns this.
You used to work here, so you're covering your tracks to me.
But anyway, I still know your man sucked on his cat's paws, and there'll be a few people who listen to this podcast who are on that quiz and will know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's one of those things. We would then the next week it would be like, right, what's he doing this time? And then every time the cat would appear,
his dog or
we'd
something.
Be like, are we recording this and putting it on Pornhub? Is that what's going on here? But he's never done it again. It's never the cat has appeared. There has been intimacy, but there hasn't been anything as vulgar and as uncouth as the sucking of his cat's paws.
It's just to see you with your monocle and your cup of tea going, oh, you fucking commoner.
Do not pass go. Do not collect £200.
Fucking stagger. So if you're listening to this podcast, mate, phone in, let us know what it tastes like. Is it nice and is it worth? Do you know any recipes to go with raw cat's paws?
I can't take my eyes off his cup.
I love you,
if there was a reason to tune into this podcast in video format, not what we're about to demonstrate, just for that cup. Nobody knows I love. That's amazing.
The fact it's its own sort of oxymoron.
It's worn. It's been used.
It's been well, it's just like the real thing.
It's been well stretched.
So okay. So we'll get down to the nitty gritty of it all. So yeah, that's about the height of our week. Is we tried to record this on Wednesday and it came out fucking wank. Just because we were trying new setups, new cameras and everything, and it's just none of it just matched. So
to be honest, actually, the problem was the ASMR content was far too explicit.
Oh yeah, it was just the mics were too close to our face. No,
shall we? No, we'll not do it.
You could hear my stomach rumbling and everything. For fuck's sake, it was that close to me. But so we said it's Sunday now. We'll have a quick go at it and see what it comes out like. We've tried to keep our distance and just talk a bit louder rather than pretending our mics are cat's paws and sucking the fuck out of them. Like they are furry like cat's paws.
To be fair, yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway.
So what are we doing this week? Make us
biggest. We asked the question, and to be honest, I'm done with it because I was trolled because of the question. The question we asked was who's got the most iconic tone in all of music? Obviously rock music, that is. Electric guitars we're thinking of, and it was. I instantly put my stall out. No matter if anybody says The Edge from U2, you're getting hunted down and farted on. So John Andrews, your card's marked. I'll hunt you down, mate. When it's legally safe to do so.
The queefinator's coming for you. He's gonna fucking. He's just gonna. I need your claws, your boots, and your toilet roll.
I'll be sure to have a vindaloo the night before.
That's it.
That's it. Mate.
I know the fucking because when it was a good thing you said rock music because whenever you said who is the most iconic tone in music, I was thinking of like Bendy Sharps, the spoon player. You know, Bendy Sharps. He's great. You see the thing this guy does with spoons. He plays them with his teeth. It's just like you wouldn't believe the stuff he can do with a spoon.
I recently saw a pianist use a loop pedal, and I was like, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Which is such a simple concept. Whenever I was young, back in my day, a friend of mine had somebody had left a big fucking no one knows like old organs. You know the fucking like old church organs. Yeah. He lived in this like apartment block in town, and somebody had fucked out like an old church organ, and he like put it in the lift and brought it up to his house, and it had like an aux out on it. And we were fucking running it through all sorts of mad shit. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, do you want it? You can take it." And he ended up bringing it up to my house where I was living at the time, and it just didn't work. So it was stuck in this fucking piano in my living room. It didn't work. So. There's do you know Cormac Neeson's Unholy Gospel Band? There's the guy who plays harmonica for him.
Oh yes, I've seen him.
He has a pedal board set up I would only dream of, and he plays a harmonica. It's mental.
He plays harmonica. He does. Harmonica.
But it's nuts. We will have a Friends episode later.
Yes, that is coming on. By the way, it's going to be our most divisive episode yet. Yeah. We're going to do like a this has nothing to do with music episode, and it's going to be Friends. Yeah. Because I've been developing a thesis over the last 6 months of the the religious and psychological aspects of the series. So that would be good. I'm gonna have a fucking PowerPoint presentation and a wee fucking what do you call them, laser pointer and everything.
Yeah. So it's so music, tone,
bollocks.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we're so enthusiastic. It's like literally the honeymoon period's over. It's because I said
this is now work.
The first episode we did, I said I guarantee there's gonna be one of those episodes where we're gonna have to record it because the batteries will die, the SD card will be full up, or something will break. That we'll go, we'll have to do it again. But unfortunately, we didn't realize we'd have to do it again until we packed up. You got home and
looked at everything,
and then I was like, well, we can't do it again. So that's because we had to wait 4 days. It's like. I'm so over this right now.
No man, I was mixing that and I was like, just all the wee sounds and all the breathing into the mics now. It was just bogging. It was so
apologies to our patrons.
I know.
The rest of you,
all three
you don't pay for it, you get it for free, so shove it up your nostrils.
Shove it up your nostrils, your hairy nostrils there. Right, well we'll get down to what we're actually going to talk about this week. So gear. Big mounds of powdery gear. No, that's next week's episode.
Speaking of shoving things up your nostrils.
That's a good tie-in, isn't it? So yeah, we're talking about basically our sound and how we have cultivated it over the last 3 years, because that's let's say we've been together for 3 years. Was there a 3-year anniversary there last February, I believe? Was it? It was, because it's so
we're
weird.
Closer to our 4-year, mate. Let's be honest.
Fuck, our jubilee. Is that what it is?
Maybe it's Jubilee.
Maybe. Fucking yeah. So we're gonna be doing. So we've been together for 3 to 4 years, and we've only been playing for about 2.5 because we can't fucking do anything anymore. So I don't know if I mentioned that in any of the fucking previous things. But so we're looking at our tone and all that shite and what we're doing. So who's going first? Who wants to talk about their musical dick and how it's come to shape?
I'll go first.
You'll go first.
I'll
right?
go
so
first.
Mick,
because I'm the only reason anybody tunes into this.
Well, that's it. You know what I mean? This is as you were saying the last time. Everything's going to unravel here right now.
Oh yes.
Where they realise that you've just you press one button, you're like a DJ at a fucking.
It's like whenever the wrestling documentary Beyond the Mock came out. It just That's what this is.
The fucking steel chairs are made out of pillows. What? Mankind is really an inflatable doll. What? Don't spit in my laptop.
No. Oh Jesus! I've just remembered something you said off camera.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't say it on. There's a reason why it's not on camera.
Yep.
It's basically mandible claw for her pleasure is what we're saying. So yeah, what the
right. So anyway,
say nothing. So right, we're going to be talking about mixed setup here.
Here's my weapon.
Your weapon.
The money maker.
So are you unmuted there? I don't want you fucking blowing
not yet. I shall unmute in a second. So first of all, I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for this cheap piece of shit violin.
Here, don't talk about me that way. For fuck's sake, I'm sitting right here.
So this is just. Somebody asked me what model is it, and you know what? I couldn't even tell you because there's literally no brand anywhere.
This is your chance to make it up. What model is it? Oh, it's a fucking Merliner. It's a Dutch version of. It's made from elm.
Yeah, no, actually, because Gavin always joked that I should have my own wah pedal called "Here Bees Me Wah."
The "Here Bees Me Wah." Anybody wants to design that, fucking give it stacks.
Matchettes, get on it.
It's literally he presses the button down and it just plays like a recorded track. that's the why. It goes.
Oh, I thought it was just I turn it on and we go. I have to get the chops from the
Can mention and hedges.
Can I get the Chinese?
That's right. That's your last rant. Your last big rant.
Anyway, so cheap piece of shit, but a really good pickup. That's what it does. I can't play violin like I used to, so because I now have an electric, I can put all the bells and whistles on it and actually sound like I know what I'm doing. So I use a Boss M80 multi-effects pedal, largely used by guitarists, but I've always liked to be different, Gavin, you know what I mean?
But your violin is like a really small electric guitar. It's
except what do you always say?
Was it? Oh, your guitar's small, but your pick's massive.
That's it, man. You know what? That's it. That is my Tinder bio.
Is that what it is?
I legit updated the photo of me in the wheelchair.
Check that out.
With the crutches.
We did a caption competition, and we got some really nice photographs from Jim Hill of when we were over doing a bit for Farside for tour, and because Mick had fucked his food up. I mentioned it this time, so that means
that's the String Ninjas drinking game.
That's it.
Shout out to Declan McKeown.
You must be blocked by now. So Mick because his foot was fucked and he couldn't stand too long. Lee, the general manager of Farside, jokingly got him a mobility scooter.
Yeah.
So there's some great photographs of fucking Mick flying about.
I really think Shop Mobility should make me their poster boy.
I really do. So we did a caption competition of it was me looking over my shoulder rather suggestively, and there was one of you in the thing. We asked people to do captions. Yeah. Nobody really topped our captions. Although did
Dan not get the best one?
There was one somebody said I don't always piss in the sink, but when I do, you can watch. I thought it was good. So go on our Facebook to check it out. There's a couple of posts down. I enjoyed that.
Anyway, so back to the tools.
Oh, that's right. We're here. We're doing this.
Yeah. So, as I say, the pickup's really good. So this is just me completely naked.
One finger.
Yeah.
Finger the fretboard. Was it Home and Away?
Oh yeah,
that's what I remember. Closer each day, home and away. Excellent, now do Dallas. JR shot himself. I reckon that would make a banging.
No, literally, I used to work in a bar that played the only live music I ever had was drum and bass on a Friday night, and their last song, the DJ's last song of the night, would always be the theme tune to Dallas, but like not in drum and bass, like just literally he had the vinyl. I just played it, and that was the best part of the night.
I worked in the parlour around the corner from here, and they always had the DJ had, was it Rock the Boat as the last song, or no, it was that hey bum 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 way do that one, and I was like thank fuck, that means everybody's leaving.
See that video when it came out, it freaked me out.
Of all
the people like dressed up as animals.
Fuck, I haven't seen that. I must have a look at that.
It was like a really low budget version of Cats.
I was thinking, like, are you just not watching
James
furry
Corden.
porn on fucking...
I was going to say, James Corden, wasn't it? No, I was on a quiz and my mum was sucking a cat's paws. So anyway, so that's my naked tone. And then as far as my EQ goes, because it's a high-end pitchy instrument, all I do is just take the edge off it, excuse me, turn the high end down, turn the mids up a wee bit, and it just softens it up a wee bit. You can't really notice it, but I can. I kind of can. When the light's on, it makes me feel better. And then a little bit of reverb, because usually we would play in venues where there's people, so you need the sound to carry a bit. So I don't put too much reverb on it, just enough to lift it over the heads of people. You know what I mean?
And I always say, like, about when it comes to reverb, like my sort of thing, I was saying this to you last time, is do a short amount of a long reverb rather than trying to fucking fire on loads of a short reverb, because then it sounds really boxy. It sounds like a plate or a fucking Springer or something.
So that's the basic bits, and then I have two sort of textures that I add. One would be my Octave Pedal.
Textures is a good word.
Texture, like that.
Texture, I like that.
You can tell I like my food.
I'm like Captain Holt in fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He goes, if I had my way, all my food would consist of a beige paste with all the nutrients the growing body needs. That's it.
I know, my approach to music is just foie gras en croûte.
Just give you the fucking goose.
Sickening.
You just squeeze the goose onto your plate.
So I have a harmonizer I usually play, because I'm always playing the melody, the lead aspect of what we do. I tend to have my harmonizer sitting underneath. The volume wise, maybe about 60% of what my main note is. So just again there for texture. So you can hear the main note do its work, and then just a little undercurrent.
See, I was like
an electric blanket.
When people say electric blanket like that, there, oh, you're coming out with all the terms.
Yeah,
today.
I'm all form today. I say about 10 minutes ago, I was knackered. See, as soon as that light went on.
That's it. Dude, you're like you see Father Ted. You went, it's a oh, once he gets out there, he's found, hello there. Did you see the Eurovision fucking episode? That's you. That's literally you, actually. There you go. Yeah. Put you straight on. Anyway, but we're letting too many people into the background of it all.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's said about the, like, when we're doing arrangements, it's kind of hard, because I was saying about, like, whatever, like, people don't realise, because they're focusing on the words and the lyrics of a song, that's what keeps it interesting. It is essentially the same fucking melody line. Like, if you listen to, like, people saying to us about, like, doing like a rap song, and it's like, you don't realise that it's the rhythm and the words that are keeping it interesting. Whereas if it's just there's nothing melodic there for us to work with, and it goes, like, a lot of pop songs the same. Like, look at Mad World. We do a cover of Mad World, and it's essentially the same fucking thing over and over again. But we have to change it each time, and I always find it's like the sort of formula for us is you do it naked as you were, and then the harmonizer comes on for the second repetition, and then the third repetition you just do a bit of fuck you mom. And I just nod politely and just,
that's it. We are literally theme and variation. That's all we are.
That's it. That's it. A, B and C.
That's it.
And that's us done. That's the magic broken. The spell has been broken. When you're going to watch us next time live, whenever the fuck that'll be, you'll be like, oh, he's just put his harmonizer on the second repetition.
I know, everyone thinks we're amazing. We're not amazing, but we're still better than everybody else out there. So there you go.
It's not that we're great, it's that you're all shite.
If I had a mic to drop, I'd drop it.
Don't drop these mics, fuck's sake.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the harmonizer done. Octave pedal.
I love an octave.
I only really use mine on the bottom octave of my range, because there's just no point. Once you go up any higher, it sort of tends to break up a bit. But it's there more again for its texture. Sometimes when Gavin, you're doing your little
things,
footery stuff,
tinkling in the background,
you can just hit the guys up with a bit of, wee bit of delay on there makes it spooky.
That's great. See, you think think I'm grooving to that. I'm not. The speaker's right beside me, so you're hitting those low notes. My bar's just tingling.
I was gonna say you're sat in the chair in just the right way.
Just
the right angle, and it's just
well, it's upside down at the minute.
it's permeating the anglers. That's it.
Rattling my teeth. That one. So
that's all the boring stuff. Now the dirty stuff. So yeah, as I said before, I can't play violin as good as I used to be able to play it. So I tend to hide my inadequacies. I spit the bricks out, we'll build a house, Mick. My inadequacies behind a little bit of distortion. So I like a good old metal tone, you know, like
crunchy,
a wee bit of.
It's very Kurt Hammett, that one.
Yeah, and if I want to get really dirty, swack the octave on it.
Oh, it is dirty.
And then even if I want to be a wee bit crazy, a wee bit of auto, just for craziness, you know what I mean?
Go for it.
So.
Nice. Where's the Wayne's World? Fucking we're not worthy.
And that's basically it. I mean, I can do some other fun things, you know, like if I put my extraction pedal on, change it up a wee bit. Sounds like we're hosting a seance.
Mm-hmm. Every EDM song in the world. I think if you went in now to your fucking like in the St. Malachy's and just like set up and just hit like everybody's fucking tits would explode. Because I'm like, what is this fucking devil music?
So that's basically what I do. I also drive the car and make the tea.
That's it.
That's what I do.
How many effects does that have altogether?
Mate, it has a bucket load.
Well, how many banks do you have? You've what, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the wah.
Yeah.
So,
but it's very. I mean, to be honest, there's more I can do, but I don't need to use all of it, especially when we do what we do, because it's one of those things. It's like. If I used to start adding layer upon layer, it's different if I was like a one-man band, but I'm not. I don't need. It's like whenever we started playing, you always said you had to start doing half the work you always had to do. It's the same with me. I don't need to do all that mad stuff, so I just do whatever.
It has a loop function built in as well, doesn't it? So you can't do layers or stuff. It's just that our timing needs to be way fucking
not even
better.
that. It's unfortunately with that you can't deviate from levels, so everything comes out at the same.
Aye.
So, but it's one of those things. If I want to get an RC300, all I need to do is get retrain, get an hour job, and save up because they're about 500 squid. You know what I mean? They're not cheap, but the thing is they're very robust. I think Fitzy's had his for about 12 years, I think he said.
I get the next one. You should definitely invest in one of the digital fucking pedal boards, the one that has it just has everything in it, and you just save it all in big fucking banks, and then you just go bank one and it just loads up everything, so you don't have to footer about. But the one thing I always find about the like analog sort of stuff is because it is all twiddling knobs. Do you know when you can like turn something and hear. Do you know when you can make the connection between I turn this amount and whereas like with the digital one it's the same when you're doing like mixing and stuff and all like for live. The digital stuff you're constantly looking at the actual fucking the screen. Do you mean whereas like if you're like doing with like an analog desk and looking at the band and turning it, you can actually like sort of know it's weird you're connecting the visual with the hearing sort of thing, so it's a lot more.
Well, literally there if I look at every knob as if it's a clock, if it's a 12 it's flat. And then it's just so simple.
It's just one or the other, one way or the other.
So there you are. I live my life just before 12 o'clock, basically. That's my sentence. So
see, it's weird, and this is where we're coming to the difference between yours and mine, because yours is one single unit. Yeah. You literally that's it. It's all wired up. It's never. But the problem is like if something fucks up on it, the whole thing's out of commission. Whereas for me, but
luckily. Most of the problems we have sideways are
it's all been me. All been me, mate.
Because I'm an electric instrument, you're not. You
no, there's a lot more fucking goes into mine.
You're like the Alfa Romeo.
Was it just fucking... Did you not say you wanted an Alfa Romeo?
I'd love an Alfa.
There you go. I always knew it was an Alfa, but not an Alfa Romeo.
It was like Alf Roberts. Hunter's home and away again.
Oh, there you go. Fuck's sake. Was he lost at sea? Was that the one
that was your man in the Neighbours. That was Harold.
Harold, there you go.
He was Madge's husband, wasn't he?
Fucking, I don't know. I haven't caught up. When I was out in New Zealand a couple of years ago, my auntie, she was like, so fucking Coronation Street, we're on this episode, and they're like 6 years behind, and it's like, she was like, so tell us what's happening.
Right.
And I never really watched Coronation Street or anything out there, but I was like, oh, and this happens and that happens, and from what I can remember, this happens and that. And she was like, I'm gonna be the fucking envy of the knitting circle because she has all the inside goss. So it's like, yeah, weird. So I wonder if it's the same, like, we're waiting on the really good Home and Away is coming out. You know what I mean? In fucking 6 years' time, I'll get all the good stuff. Yeah. Closer each day, you know, Home and Away. But so right, paddleboards. That's what I hear you.
What do you, Gavin? What do you do? How does yours work?
Oh, I'm glad you asked because
nobody else ever does.
I wasn't going there either way by myself, like. But yeah, so basically, my paddleboard is a bit different from Mick's. They're all like individual units rather than being one big fucking thing that does it all. So I'll just do a quick run through the way the signal goes. So basically, plug my guitar into this, signal goes to this, then it goes to this. So this one's an octave pedal. We've got a distortion pedal. Then it goes to the delay here, the Strymon, and then it goes to this reverb here, and then out to this parametric EQ. So I'll basically go through the pedals each and let you know what to do. So basically this one here, chromatic tuner, TU3, Boss. Just it's easy. It's just I was sick. I used to have the all those clip-on tuners, and they were shite. They're always getting lost and broken and fucking, you know what I mean, batteries were running out. So I decided just to get one of these. You stick it to the board, and like Tommy Emmanuel was saying, he has one, and all he has to do is when he's talking to the audience, he looks down at the corner of his eye and sees if it's green or red, and if it's red, he needs to tune, and if it's green, it's not. So he's not like too distracted. Whereas those fucking clip-on ones, because they're up here in the guitar, you're constantly turning away to see what you're doing, you know, or you're talking out of the side of your mouth into the thing. So it's kind of shite. So it was kind of handy just to get that. So that signal goes to the next one. The good thing about that, actually, before I move on, is it when you hit it, it mutes everything. Now you can't bypass that by going into one of the other inserts there. So like I can tune and keep the signal going through at the same time. So but I prefer to keep it, you tune, you turn it off, because nobody wants to hear you fucking tuning, like, especially when I was doing the solo fingerstyle stuff, where like the tuning was going from standard to like drop X, you know what I mean? So everything was changing, and you were tuning for hours and tried to talk shit at the same time. So yeah, so the signal goes from there to this. So this is basically my sound, is this fucking thing. So the Boss OC3 Super Octave. There are better octave pedals out there, by all means, like the Pog and the Hog, and you can do more and dial it in. You can dial it in a lot more specifically, and you know, a lot more in depth. But just for what I'm doing, this is basically what I'm after. So basically four knobs you get to play with, you get to twiddle on this bad boy. So you've got your direct level, your octave level, your range, and then your type of octave. So you've got your when it comes to your type of octave, polyphonic, you've got two octaves down, otherwise known as octave 2, would you believe? And then you've got the drive, which is pure pish. You'll never use it. Don't even know why the fuck it's on there. Like it is just shite. But so I'm always using polyphonic. The octave 2 basically brings it down and makes it sound like a double bass almost. But again, because it does it over the whole range. So it's not like you can dial it into the bottom two strings and they're the only ones. Again, with other pedals you can. So you've got your octave level and your range. So basically the way it works is on the range you've got this little bad boy here. So if that means it's not on at all. And then if you turn it up to there, it's like your E string, your A string, you know, and then turn it the whole way around. That means the octave applies to all your strings. So I tend to have mine about 9 o'clock, maybe between 9 and 12, depending on the song. Because it's just for the levels and whatnot. It's nice and warm and bassy. I always love my bass. And it's that's what we kind of follow whenever we're playing. It's the bass is because it's what pings out for us. Do you know what I mean? And that's what keeps us sort of in check. You've got your level, so basically the amount of it you want, like so. And then the direct level. The direct level is just like the difference between the original signal going through. So you essentially, if you turn that around to nothing, you would literally just have the octave sound coming out, you wouldn't have any of the original guitar. So you would have to rig this up for the two separate outs. So then it goes to the overdrive, the bass distortion. Don't really use it that much. It is kind of nice and it is kind of fuzzy, but it is really it's hard to sort of to dial in, and it's hard to sort of place it, because when we're playing, like even the heavier stuff, like the Cream songs, it's all bass for me. There's no fucking like, I mean, like distortion would be nice, but because it just tends to spill over, because then you're using distortion in parts, and it's just so I have used it on a couple of solo songs. But it's just they're just few and far between these days.
Maybe if we put it allowed to play at a festival this year, you could have used it.
Well, that's it. I know. That's it. Well, at least I've got a whole other year to fucking try and figure out how to use it properly. So that's that. So basically, it has your level, your gain, your balance between your dry signal and your wet signal, and then it has a wee EQ here, like a wee small one. So it has like you can gain or take away your bass, and you can gain and take away. The problem is obviously because I've got an acoustic guitar. If I turn down the bass, even though it's technically the bass on the distortion, it affects the whole signal. Yeah. So the whole fucking thing goes. So it's kind of shit like that. So if you turn down the bass on that, basically your signal loses all its bass over across the board, which is kind of shit like. But so it's a case of finding the balance where when I turn this on, it doesn't affect the signal quality or the EQ of that there. So then we're going up to fucking this bad boy, the Strymon. Now anybody who knows anything about their pedals knows that Strymon are fucking pretty much top of the game. Like there's a couple of Boss ones that are sort of modelled on the Strymons, but they're just the business, like. So there's so much you can do with it, and I can't even go in depth into how much you can do with this fucking thing. But yeah, you can dial it in, you create all sorts of textures. The cool thing is you can do stereo. So if you've got two separate like sort of amps or speakers on separate sides, you can like match your delay, so it shoots between the two. Yeah. So you get this really nice texture. So if you were sitting in the audience listening in the middle, you would get the stereo coming out either side, which is really nice. I just realised there's a right in here and it's got a spider web on it. That's how fucking that's how often I use it. So yeah, so that's that. So the Strymon it's pretty. There's lots. I'll demonstrate one or two of the effects on here in a wee second. And then the last, so we've got reverb, Digitech, Polara. Pretty much all the reverbs are roughly the same. Do you know what I mean? There's a couple of different functions and all. For the price, there was either this or the Boss, and I'd heard the Boss reverbs and all, and they were nice, and that was basically my go-to. But I didn't want to give them fucking 4 pedals on the board. So last but not least, Parametric DI LR bags. Now I had a Venue DI, which is fantastic, which is what this big gap was here. But it was just gigged into oblivion. Like I had it for about 6 or 7 years, and it just stomped on it, and it just got wrecked, and it was a fantastic piece of kit. But so the original way I had it set up was my signal was split between a dry signal and an effect signal, and the Venue DI did that. But it's kind of worked out better that it's just one signal, and that's what does it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll give you a wee tasty taste. Let's see,
and a moose bush.
And a moose bush. Is your bush amused?
Always.
Well, you get your money back if it's not. So this is this. So let's have a wee tinkle. So we'll start off with just everything normal. So there we go. There's my thing. So I'll turn. That's not normal. That's not normal. That's definitely not normal. That's a weird one. So I'll turn everything off, and then I'll turn them on as you go. So. That's just the guitar going in. By the way, the guitar. This is a Maton EBW 70J, fucking Blackwood, sexy as fuck. Matons are great. Like.
It's amazing you can remember all those letters and numbers.
I don't even have to think about it. Like I really do. It's like I'm just going to get them tattooed on the inside of my eyelids. But yeah, so I'll turn on the Octave, and the one thing I really like about the Octave is it warms up the whole sound in general. So it just beefs it out. It's like an exciter. So see here, so I'll do. Hear it sort of picking up there, so that's that. So yeah, and the distortion. I'll give you a wee quick tip on the distortion. There we go. That's about the height of it. And then so I'll bring us over to the fucking. what's this thing? The delay pedal here. So this is called. I had a bit of
more than my car. I think you should remember.
The thing is, I actually had a bit of a delay, but I was trying to remember the name of it there. So there's two real main delays I use. This one here is called echo chamber, and it's basically dialed in, so it's just one repetition, or 2-3 repetitions, but it's two main ones. So whenever you're playing, it gives you this sort of. Shit, like, so it doubles everything up essentially, and it's really nice. I need to see where is the other one here, because I'm fucking.
Well, you're upside down.
I'm upside down, so I can't see. 97 or 97.4. See, I probably broke this now, so I have 2 seconds. I've completely fucked that.
Ah, Gavin.
I know, mate. Oh, no, you know what is it? It's completely mangled now. There we go. Here, where are we? See, it's upside down, so I can't fucking see what I'm doing here. What are we?
We're going to go to a commercial break.
Fuck it. We'll do that for.
Do you know what? Actually, go on and sign up there, Patreon, and let's do a tune called Disco Biscuits, where you use it quite a lot.
That's right. There is. Well, basically, the other one's Dyna Filter. So I'm trying to see here just quickly. That is Dyna Filter there. So let's turn it on. There it is. There. Let's see. Is that us? So you can hear it sort of.
It's dynamic responsive, isn't
it? So it would so if you're playing everything at the same sort of level, and then you ping a note out, it sort of comes out here. So do you know what I mean? So it comes through that way. So there will be a better version of it on that thing. Now I have to turn this whole fucking thing off and reset it to find that again. But yeah, so that's basically what it does. The good thing about the EQ on this bad boy is that so I can basically set it, boost signal, boost fucking all sorts of shit before I get to it. Like so, should we try and do a wee bit together? See what way it comes out. Do
you want to?
We'll have a wee go. Fuck it.
What you unplug for?
I don't know, because you might have said no. Fuck's sake, you might have said no to me.
I don't know.
You never say no to me. Here, have a go.
All right.
We'll have a wee go. So let's see what we can do. It might sound shite.
Probably play something we know or something we don't.
Fuck, who cares anymore? Give us some. What do you want to do? We'll do a wee section or something.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? I know that. There you go.
There we are.
So that's that. So there we go. That's basically what we do. Hopefully you enjoyed the fucking trunks clean off that.
I think you should know what we do if you're listening to this. Well, if you're listening to this and you don't know what we do, what's wrong with your life?
That's
why are you here?
Where have you fucking been?
I don't know.
So yeah, that's essentially us in a nutshell. So we thought we'd take a look at like what was the other things was the most iconic sounds. That was the big question for this week.
Couple of obvious ones. Brian May.
Sexy Brian May. For the best hairdo, 1973.
Nobody said Jimi Hendrix, which was interesting. Because he's weird. He's not he wouldn't...
No, say it like you said it last time.
No, alright, he was...
You said he was overrated.
He is
he was a wanker and he owes your dad tenner.
I know. He was a trailblazer in the sense he was doing a lot of shit nobody else was doing. However, in the forum of, if you take technique and ability and expression and put it all together, there's a lot of people that are a lot better. To be fair, he was asked what's it like being the best guitarist in the world, and he did reply, you have to ask Rory Gallagher. So at least he didn't think he was the best. But he has that.
That's one of the things. Is like humility was a lot of things. But a lot of the fucking truly great players are players who thought they were shite. Yeah. You know what I mean? They were like, "Oh, I'm all right." Like you or me. You know, we like to brag that we're very humble about these things.
It's like when Axl Rose was voted the greatest frontman of all time, and even Axl Rose went, "I think if I asked Freddie Mercury, mate."
Yeah, that's what he was. Fucking fair play. You always you always recognise when somebody's better than you.
Oh, what?
Unless you're Tony McHugh. That fucking bastard. Every time I see him play, this guy from North Belfast, Tony McHugh. Oh, what a fucking dick. I love him. He's class. He's amazing. But I fucking hate him because he's so good. He's just so fucking good.
Alright, but we can talk about that all.
I will do that next time. We'll get him in here now. I'd knock his fucking.
Be furry as we like.
I know. I can we just charm the pants clean off me, and I wouldn't be able to do it. Put them back on. That's what about sausage away?
I know I don't know. Guitar, it's one of those things. It's like I don't like bands. See, so when there's so many bands. Like, see the Eagles. Yeah. People go mad for the Eagles, and I'm like, yeah, but they have 14 guitarists. It's like
they're all good. And the drummer's the singer.
Like, I do the solo from Hotel California by myself. All I need
is a wee
harmonizer and a wee bit of delay and a bit of reverb on it.
It's so weird. It's kind of weird because see, for me, like growing up, I only listened to like. It was like my musical like sort of influences went through like three main stages. So I listened to like fucking death metal. Do you know what I mean, like really like Chrysian, Morbid Angel, Dayside, all that sort of shit. Sepultura, they're sort of thrash metal and all that sort of jazz. And then I discovered like Andy McKee and Tommy Emmanuel. It was like pure instrumental acoustic for fucking 10 years. And then I got so fucking bored with it. And I was like, oh, do you know what I mean? So then I started listening to electronic music, which had no real guitars in it at all. Do you know what I mean? It's all synths and all. New retro wave is what it's called, and it just basically sounds like every Terminator 80s sci-fi fucking soundtrack. So it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint. You know, that was because I like Gary Moore, obviously.
Yeah.
Fucking Thin Lizzy. I've never listened to a Thin Lizzy album. Like through and through, I know the hits.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard for me to put a point on it, like which is my favorite. But like obviously, like if you were to say like Brian May, like Gary Moore, do you know what I mean? All these, I look to like all my mates who play electric and like, what do you think? And they say all the same names.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, look, I don't know if it was a good question to ask because like, no, but what I mean is, it's like if I think of the greatest guitarists of all time, it's not their tone that stands out for me. It's their
overall music.
It's their left hand and right hand. How like Mark Knopfler. You were talking about that thumb and ring finger, that thing technique. He does, and then like Clapton. You know, obviously he's being such a slow player he was, but that his expression came through that. And then a guy like Gary Moore, you know, just the way he would bend that string. That's not like the effects, and the tone of his guitar and all, but it's that what he's doing. Like it's the same even when I play the violin. It's like if I give another violinist my violin and my pedal board and everything set up the exact same way, and I went right play that, it would sound completely different to how I sound because it's what I do, and it's that bringing it all together, you know. So. Probably was a stupid question to ask.
No, listen, I try to ask like openly divisive questions because on fucking Facebook their algorithm can go fuck itself.
Oh yeah.
So I should see what I've done for our next video release. By the way, I've played the Facebook's. They want something that pushes the fucking conversation forward, and I'm like, people don't like us for our fucking opinions on it. I would like, it's like, is this like we would need to put up a video and say, is this shit?
Yeah.
That would drive the fucking. It's like
they want the conversation pushed forward so people share personal details and then they can hack your bank account and steal all
That's pretty much it. Do you know what I mean? We're just raising they thought of it first.
But no, getting back to it, it's like, you know, like I said about it at the start, the Edge. That man doesn't. That's
he has a guy that does his.
He's a guy. It's like Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's not live looping.
Yeah.
There's a guy backstage doing that for him.
Well, the thing is, they're not even that there. Like, he's got a full band with him. All these guys now, like, I mean, when you're that big and you've got a but they live looped because they didn't have a drummer or a fucking, you know, or a harmonizer or somebody else, or a lead guitar player. Whereas now all these guys do, so they don't need to loop anything. You know what I mean? Unless they're doing like a wee solo fucking bit in there.
Like Wolfpack are just the best out there. I don't know.
I love Wolfpack. I was funny. I haven't listened to them in fucking years.
You probably enjoy them more now because you've had a wee break.
Yeah, they're all their music's just so childish.
I went through like a 6-month period where all I listened to was Wolfpack, and even then I was like, right, okay, this is a bit too much now.
So if you've never heard of these guys, fucking check them out. It's basically Wolfpack.
Wait till this episode's over and then go
listen to this first, buy our album, and then go and check these guys out. So it's Wolfpack. So it's basically if a German tried to say Wolfpack, Wolfpack. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, they're fucking great. I have to say their songs are just, they're like, they don't make any sort of lyrical sense, but it's just groovy as fuck and just funky. The song Corey Wong, it has like 3 riffs in the whole thing, but you just boom.
I feel like their attitude to themselves is a similar one to ours in the sense of they're very serious about not taking themselves seriously, but they are all exceptionally talented musicians. They're all Berkeley alumni. Like if you went,
actually now you said it, there's a fucking guitar tone that for me personally has, and actually Corey Wong,
but then
he's very Princey.
It's that right hand, it's that rhythm.
No, but his tone is like you could have that rhythm and play with shitloads of distortion. Do you know what I mean? And it would come out completely. It would come out really fucking different. Although saying that, I think if Corey Wong used that rhythm in a metal album, it would be fucking fantastic. It would be the grooviest metal album you've ever heard in your life. But no, his
would be awesome.
His it's really really clean and
get all the Coreys together.
All the Coreys, Corey from Slipknot, fucking Corey Wong. Yeah. There we go. There's
Corey Feldman.
Who's Corey Feldman?
Was he not in Lost Boys or Stand By Me? Is he the one who died? Or no one's seen?
No, that was Phoenix. No, was that not Corey, or what, your man Phoenix? What do you call him?
River
Phoenix, that's what it was. But no, that's a fucking thing. Because I was watching, did you ever watch Andy Samberg's Never Stop, Never Stopping? No. The pop story. You might watch it, you piss yourself fucking lamb. But his manager was in a band called Tony. And he's basically, they all spelled their names differently with an exclamation mark, whereas he said his with a question mark. So he's like, so it's Tony. And he's like, we had creative differences, and they fucking they threw me out. Like,
do you know there's 3 Daniels in Imagine Dragons?
Is there?
Aye, there's Dan, there's Daniel, and there's another Daniel whose middle name's Wayne. So they were like, right, we can have a Dan and a Daniel, but just call yourself Wayne. Aye,
Wayne Sleep.
And then there's a Ben.
It's a weird one, like. Yeah. It's just like, did I say Dan Gregory, Cooking for Bastards? Oh, I forgot to put his t-shirt. I've got his t-shirt on
underneath. Oh, get it off.
I know, but you'll see my tits on the camera. I'll get us more views.
Yeah, I'll get us more views. Let's get monetized on YouTube here.
Wonderful.
I was thinking about that earlier. Why is there OnlyFans when there's free porn? Like, who's paying for OnlyFans?
That's like, Cooking for Bastards, Dan Gregory. No, this is the point he's going to
make. He did another episode, didn't he?
He did, he did the thing. What's that? He fucking did... he started up... Dan Gregory does all these mad experiments. He started up a group just called We Are Dan Gregory, and he went through Facebook and just found everybody that had his name and added them to the group. He's talking about we're gonna get Dan in for an episode at some stage. But Dan's fucking hilarious.
Actually, that's probably that's the one we should do in the kitchen in here.
Cooking for Bastards. Just get him fucking doing it. So Cooking for Bastards, check it out. So here, right, next week, because we're gonna run out of fucking camera space here. What are we doing next week?
What time are we on here?
It's not that, it's the fucking camera I'm worried about shitting itself.
Next week, I'm giving you homework, you're giving me homework.
That's right. What am I to listen to again? So we're going to listen to stuff.
I thought we were doing trigonometry.
Trigonometry, is that what it is?
Sex ed with the ninjas.
That's it. The penis goes into the vagina, with the sperm comes out of the fucking...
The shaft.
You put the finger up the anus, and speaking of anus, I need to watch...
That's the copy of Hello, isn't it?
Is it anus? Is that what he said? Is that his catchphrase? Yeah. Finger up the anus.
Yeah, I think that's where the inspiration for Borat came from. But yeah, so you're going to listen to Mars, the Bringer of War by Gustav Hulse.
I've heard bits of it, but I'm going to listen to it in depth and do a wee bit of research on it, and we'll talk shit about it.
Because I think it's a piece of classical music that you would have composed if you knew anything about music theory.
I know there's notes. Yeah. And I know you play them in different sequences to make music.
Is it your favourite time signature?
7. Yeah. 7 and 5.
7-12.
It's just 7-7. It's just fucking I know all about the 5s. I love the 5s.
No, it'll be good because you can listen to it and then go listen to the rest of the suite because it's Mars from the Planets. and like how you don't have to listen to all of them. But
what's the other one? Galaxy, and then the other one's Milky Way.
Shut
You
your-
said them all.
How dare you? You take this seriously? We're trying to make a living here.
But we're serious about taking ourselves not seriously.
Very good. That's very true.
But I'm going to do that. I'm going to listen to that when I'm washing the dishes, and when I'm trying to knock one out, I'll have a wee listen to that. It might spur me on. I am the bringer of war. Spooch.
God almighty.
Fucking, and then
Just
you're
thinking about
listening.
the cat's paws.
Thinking about the cat's paws.
If that's not what this episode's called, mate, there's something wrong.
Pause for thought. That's what it'll be called. Fucking yeah. So and then you're going to listen to 198XAD. By
Is that Elon Musk's new chair?
that's the twins, so it is. So yeah, and that's by Mega Drive, which is like a new retro wave fucking thing. There's a load of things. I've listened to the album. It's very, very, very hardcore sort of stuff. Very, very gritty. But I've listened to it so many times. I've got certain things that I want to say to you, like to see if it'd be interesting to see if you've picked out the certain things for me. Listen to it on Spotify, because if you're cheap and listen to it on YouTube like me, all the ads coming at the worst moments. Like there's a big build up, and then it's like, huh?
I know.
Have you got a fucking fungus on your balls? Well, that's the personalised ads I get.
It's like an hour long as well. I gave you 7 minutes.
Oh, well, that was your fucking problem. I haven't got the spam for that. Well, no, to do. We'll make it easy. Pick like the first fucking 5 tracks.
No, it's fine. I'll commit.
You'll commit, right?
I'm a team player.
So that's it. Well, I know you always hold it when I'm fucking thrusting. So yeah, that's us. We'll knock it off there. So we've got our fake outro to do. So we're going to come up with different ways of doing these fake outros, because I want to make them funny. But unfortunately, we're not funny, so we'll need to. We'll do that every week. So so tune in next week, where our guest will be, Jesus. Coming up to Christmas, he's fucking trying to get a hold of him. It's fucking hard. So you get him in November, and his rates are cheaper. So he doesn't charge you as much.
So yeah, Apple Podcast 5-star review.
All that shit.
Yeah. All that.
So
if you're all listening off podcasts, you know the crack. Get us on Patreon. Give us your money.
Patreon. We're on fucking YouTube. We're doing a new video every Wednesday. We're trying to put out this Wednesday's a doozy. You'll like it. Again, we're trying to break the Facebook algorithm.
It's kind of connected to this podcast.
It is. Yes, it's actually. It's very, very. If you like cats, Paws. This is specifically for you, you weird fucker. Sucking on cats' paws. You'll like this one. But yeah, check us out: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, fucking Instagram, Patreon, all that. We'll probably be in your bushes later on. So
we'll be coming around doing Christmas carols.
Jingle balls.
That's what we should probably do actually.
What? Oh, we'll just minor up all the Christmas carols. But anyway. Right. See you later. Cue the go-go dancers.